my name is Courtney Seiberling. I am the author of Yogas, Yamas, and Niyamas, 10 Principles for Peace and Purpose. And what follows is a physical practice of one of these principles. So if you like what you experienced or are interested in learning more about these principles and yoga philosophy, you can buy my book on Amazon. Namaste. So today we're going to practice one of the Niyamas. It's actually the last Niyama, and it's called Ishvara Pranidhana. And this one's a really special one, I think. So this one has a lot to do with celebrating what's spiritual, with opening ourselves to wonder, taking a kind of a childlike look at things. And this really helps us to make something of life, to find meaning, because life can be really kind of mundane and routine if we don't open ourselves to the magic and the wonder around us. So you'll see we have a little altar set up. If you have a little space in your home, maybe just lighting a candle, or if you are into crystals or anything, maybe finding some crystals and setting those out. I'm gonna make a little space for us. So I'm gonna put out a little candle. I have a little book to do a little reading later, and I have a couple crystals. So today I have amethyst, which is a stone of spirituality. I have some smoky quartz, which is a really grounding stone, and I have some shungite, which is in the name of healing. So we're gonna light this candle while we set our intention today. And I'd just like us to offer an intention to heal. So maybe you're feeling really good and that doesn't make any sense to you, but there's always some room to heal. Maybe you're in a not great place in your life, and this can be a safe place for you to feel yourself, to release some stuff on your mat. So let's go ahead and lift our hearts here, close our eyes, and then just take your breath into your body. Letting the breath be a miracle inside you. So we're really surrendering to the wonder and beauty of little moments in our practice today. So we're going to use movement as a ritual. We're going to use our breath to nurture and heal. So really start to deepen that breath, open your heart. And we'll take it pretty slow today. Lots of forward folds, lots of heart openers to both open and surrender to the magnificence of life and our bodies. Draw your hands into heart center, bow your chin into your chest. And just honoring our intention to heal something today. So maybe it's a part of your body. Maybe it's something deeper emotionally. Maybe you'll just touch it a little bit. But opening ourselves up to heal, to be nurtured, to ground. And then lift your gaze. We'll come into a child's pose. Today we'll need 2 blocks, a blanket, and if you have a bolster, grab a bolster. If not, you can grab a pillow off your couch or something. So we're going to take the pillow the long way on our mats. You're going to take your knees as wide as the mat, pull the pillow in between your legs, and we're just going to come to a child's pose over the bolster. So laying your cheek to one side, letting your hips sink down towards your heels, and really letting yourself be supported here. The arms can do whatever feels good. You can have them extended, you can have them hold the pillow. But really allow yourself to sink today, to ground, and to open. And then you'll take your cheek to the other side. And then you'll slide your hands underneath your shoulders. You'll press yourself up. You'll place the pillow to the side. And then keeping your knees wide as the mat, take a little clasp of your hands right by your low back. Lift your heart here, and we're gonna come into a rabbit pose. So you're gonna come up on your knees, and you're gonna place the top of your head at the center of the mat. Arms come up and overhead. If it feels too much to have your knees this wide, you can also come back and have your knees together. That's a more traditional rabbit pose. Let your heart open here as you sink into the mat. One more deep inhale here. And then let your arms come back down towards the mat. Lift your heart here. Shine your heart wide to the sky. And then release the clasp of your hands, coming to hands and knees. And then we'll come right through for downward facing dog. So hips reaching towards the sky, pressing into the knuckles, inner arms rolling in towards each other, remembering our intention to heal today. And as we move a little bit now, really using motion as a means of healing, as a means of opening, and as a means of ritual. Look in between your hands, step your feet. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back. And then we'll exhale to forward fold. So not a ton of standing postures today. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And then draw your hands into heart center. Standing at the top of your mat, lifting your heart up into your hands, closing your eyes. Standing in your power, opening your heart to the possibility of what is available today. And then we're just going to do a series of what we call cactus heart openers. So I'm going to face the front of the mat. You stay where you are. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, elbows bend, heart moves towards the sky. And then draw your arms in together and draw your hands in towards your heart. So we're going to do a series of those. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, open your heart, little back bend. Inhale, arms come back up, and then draw your hands into your heart. Inhale, lift your arms. Baby back bend, cactus arms. Inhale, lift your arms up to the sky and draw your hands in towards heart center. Really nice. Just a couple sun A's. So standing at the top of your mat, lifting your arms, lifting your gaze. Exhale to forward fold. Connecting breath with movement. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, bowing into yourself. Inhale, lift your arms, lift your gaze, lift your heart. And then exhale, pull your hands into heart center. Just a couple more of those. Inhale, sweep it up to the sky. Exhale, little bend in the knees to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press down into your feet, lift your arms, lift your gaze, spread your heart. And then exhale, pull your hands into heart center. One more just like that. Inhale, lift it up. Really connecting breath with movement. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep it up, spread your heart, lift your gaze. And exhale, pull your hands into heart center. And we're just going to stand in balance. So grounding down into your left leg, lift your right knee to hip height. If you have it in you, it can be a little bit lower. And then we're going to work on extending the right leg from the hip. And yes, it requires a little balance. So you can always come to a wall, lifting your heart up, drawing your knee back into your chest, and then place your foot down next to your other foot. Take a little breath in between, drawing your left knee in towards you about hip height, gazing at one point, extend that leg. It requires pulling up in the thigh, Grounding down into the right foot. You can come to a wall if you're wobbling all over the place, no biggie. And then take that foot down. Let's wash it out. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we're going to step back straight to our downward facing dog. Lifting the right foot up to the sky. We're going to step the right foot in between the hands. You're going to come down onto your back knee. If your back knee is sensitive, you can always pat it with a blanket, taking the left knee back a little bit. We're going to take the hands inside the right foot, lift your heart here, and then bowing into yourself. So this is lizard. So this is lifting your heart as you bow into yourself. Really good for that upper muscle in the upper hip. And rolling the shoulders away from your neck. Nice big deep breaths, using your breath to fill the body. What a miracle your breath is. And then we're going to use our blocks to extend our front leg. So maybe you don't need your blocks, but most of us need blocks. You're going to extend your right leg for a half split. So this is Hanumanasana. So taking the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting your heart here. You can come into full split if that's available. For most of us, that is not. And then you're going to bow your chin into your chest. So heart opening as you forward fold. Just a couple breaths here. And then lift your heart, slide that right foot back. We're going to pass through our downward facing dog to come through to the other side. So lifting the left leg up to the sky, pulling the left leg through, stepping the left foot through, taking the right knee down, flattening the top of the foot, taking your knee back a little bit, and then this time the arms come on the inside of that left foot, lifting the heart and bowing your chest. So lizard on the left. Breathing some space, some healing into that upper right hip. Releasing on the exhales, always, always. And then lifting up on your next inhale, coming in for your half split on the left. So blocks are our friends. Taking the left leg long, maybe taking your right knee back a little bit. And your shape doesn't have to look like mine. Your shape can be way higher up, lifting your heart here and then bowing your chin into your chest. So extending through the left leg. You'll get a nice hamstring stretch. Just a few really big inhales and exhales here. And then on whatever your next exhale is, you'll press into your blocks, you'll slide your left leg back, and let's come into our child's pose. So knees as wide as the mat, big toes come together to touch. Forward fold. If your forehead does not come to the mat, placing a block underneath your forehead. And really connecting with the breath here. So I'm going to count us through it. So go ahead and exhale all the air that you have in your lungs. And on your next inhale, deeply breathing through the nose for 2, 3, 4, holding the breath at the top for 1, and then gently exhaling out the nose for 2, 3, 4, holding all the breath out for 1, inhaling through the nose for 2, 3, 4, all the breath in the body for 1. And then exhale out the nose for 2, 3, 4, body empty of breath for 1. This will be our last cycle of this work. Inhale through the nose for 2, 3, 4, holding the breath at the top for 1. And then exhaling out the nose for 2, 3, 4, body empty of breath. And then just getting in touch with your own natural breath cycle. Finding the miracle that is your breath, that nourishes you, that keeps you alive. Finding a little gratitude for that. And then we're going to walk ourselves up. So we're going to set it up for Janushirshasana. So this is a forward fold and a really nice release for the back. So you're going to extend your left leg. You're going to hug your right foot in towards center. And then you're going to frame your left leg with your hands. You're going to take your left shoulder back. You're going to think about opening your heart. And then you're going to walk yourself out to a forward fold with your heart lifting. Bowing your chin into your chest with your heart lifting. Nice big, big breaths here, in and out of the nose. Remembering that twist, so left shoulder back. Can you bow in a little more? Release something a little deeper. On your next inhale, lifting your heart. And we'll switch it to the other side. So we're taking the left leg in, extending the right. And then go ahead and frame that right leg with your hands, taking your right shoulder back, lifting your heart. So really keeping your heart upright as you start to forward fold. Bowing your chin into your chest as your heart is lifting. Letting your neck go. Keeping your breath steady. Right shoulder's coming back. Nice twist in the belly and the low back. Softening, deepening the release. On your next inhale, lifting it up. We're going to take a forward fold. So coming for a traditional forward fold, you're going to extend your legs long. And this time, instead of keeping your spine really long, I just encourage you to just let yourself bow in. So maybe bending your knees. So just coming into yourself like you're a little ball, letting your head go. Letting your neck go. Just feeling your breath cycling in and out of your body. And then next inhale lifts you up. So we're going to finish practice with a single pigeon. If you have knee problems or if that's not in your practice, you can come to this on your back. So we'll set it up for the traditional pigeon. So you'll come into your downward facing dog. You'll inhale to lift your right foot up to the sky, and then you'll hug your right knee into your chest. You're going to take your right knee to the back of your right wrist, and you'll slide your left leg back. So the idea is to make a perpendicular line with your leg to the top of your mat. If that is not happening or your hip's riding way up, you can take a block underneath your hip, a blanket, lift your heart here. And if it feels okay on your knee, you'll go ahead and start to bow forward. And you'll place a block underneath your forehead if your forehead does not reach the mat. Nice big breaths in and out of the nose, really focusing on the release, on the healing of this shape. And using each exhale as an opportunity to let go of something. So this is a really big outer hip stretch. So we're making space for new stuff, letting go of the old.
A couple more really big inhales, really big exhales. And then on the end of your next exhale, the hands will come down underneath the shoulders. You'll press yourself up, and then you're going to press into your hands, tuck your back left toes, and you'll push yourself back into your downward facing dog. And we'll switch it through to the other side. So inhale, that left leg lifts tall to the sky, bending your left knee into your chest, coming in for pigeon on this side, switching to the other side on your back if you're in that variation, lifting your heart, putting something underneath your left hip if it's coming up, either a blanket or a block, and then placing the block underneath your forehead, or forehead comes directly to the earth. On this side will probably be a little different, so just breathing with what is on this side, surrendering in, letting go. You are welcome to stay here. If this is feeling really good, maybe you pause the video, or you come to place the hands underneath the shoulders, lift your heart, and then you're going to tuck your back left toes. You're going to send your right foot back to meet your left, coming in for your downward facing dog. If you're on your back, you'll switch it to the other side. If you're coming in for traditional single pigeon, lifting your left leg to the sky, hugging your left knee in towards you. And then placing the left knee behind the left wrist, sliding your right toes back, framing yourself. And again, if your left hip is coming way up, you can slide a block or a blanket underneath there. And then you'll go ahead and you'll forward fold. So placing a block underneath the forehead, if that feels good, or the forehead can come down directly to the mat. Nice deep breaths into whatever's tight on that left hip. The breath should sound like an ocean wave flowing in and out of the body. Releasing on those exhales, finding energy on those inhales. Letting something fall out of that left hip for just a few more breath cycles, really releasing, really letting yourself be in this shape. And then you'll slide your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up, and then you'll tuck your your right toes, press into your hands, take your left foot back to meet the right. And then we're going to come right into our Savasana. So moving anything away from your mat, laying down onto your back, letting your feet flop out to the sides, palms up in a nice receiving posture. Letting it all go. Letting any controlled breath work go. And in the theme of creating a sacred space, creating ritual, I'm going to read us a little excerpt. So staying in your Shavasana, just allowing these words to kind of fall across your body. This is actually from a Henry Miller book. Every day we slaughter our finest impulses.
This is why we get a heartache when we read those lines written by the hand of a master and recognize them as our own, as the tender shoots which stifled because we lacked the faith to believe in our own powers, our own truth and beauty. Everyone, when they get quiet, when they become desperately honest with themselves, is capable of uttering profound truths. We all derive from the same source. There is no mystery about the origins of things. We are all part of creation, all kings, all poets, all musicians. We have only to open up, only to discover what is already there. So go ahead and find a little wiggle in your toes, in your fingertips, waking the body up to this glorious moment, this new opportunity to show up with an open heart. Inhale your arms up and overhead, extend your toes to point towards the front of the room. And then curl yourself up into a little ball and let yourself fall over to your right, making a little pillow for your inner arm. And then no rush, but when you feel ready, coming up to a comfortable seat, lifting your heart, finding the ground below you as a support, and then drawing your hands to heart center, bowing into the wonder that is you. And then maybe choosing to just open yourselves up a little bit this week. So we're all really guilty of kind of looking down into our phones, curling our shoulders inward. See if you can open yourself up to maybe notice the beauty of the world around you, the sky, some beautiful flowers. Stop to smell the roses, as we sometimes say. And you can take this idea of ritual, maybe by lighting a candle at dinner tonight, maybe just dimming the lights, taking a bath, just nurturing, creating ritual, creating space for the sacred to enter into your heart. The light in me acknowledges the light in your beautiful heart. Namaste.